What's up, guys? Welcome back to Healthy Recipe. I'm going to be doing a keto recipe for you guys today. This one's going to be a really simple one. I'm going to be using some coleslaw that's already pre-shredded, so it's not going to take a whole lot of chopping. I got some mushrooms, some fresh baby portobellos. I'm going to be using some chicken and some of my chicken sausage that comes from Sam that you guys probably seen in my other videos. It's going to be really simple, just something to put together quick, a one-pot recipe. It'll be delicious as always, so let's get right to it. Alright, so these are the ingredients that we're going to be using today for our soup. We're going to be using some Saigon organic cinnamon, just to give it a little bit of hint of cinnamon to the recipe. I'm going to be using smoked paprika. I got organic butter. I'm using some baby portobellos. This is a really hot sauce. This is actually ghost pepper sauce. I've used it before in recipes. This is 500,000 Scoville units, so it's pretty hot. I'll be using just a few drops of this just because I like heat. You guys could use your favorite hot sauce or you can leave it out, entirely optional. I have about 8 cloves of minced garlic, fresh. I'm using 1 whole red onion, also minced. The mozzarella and roasted garlic chicken sausage, these are from Sam's Club, and these are Members Mark, all natural, no preservatives, no nitrates in these, so I really like them. I use them in quite a bunch of different recipes. These are great if you're doing keto. You know, you want to have sausage and egg for breakfast. You can even throw them in an omelet or anything like that. Very versatile. I have some coleslaw here. Basically, this is really easy. It's just already chopped up for me, so it's nice to add it to the soup to add some fiber and some texture. I use a lot of cabbage to eat just to keep my carbs down because of the nutrients and basically because it's low calorie. I'm also using ground cumin, thyme. This is just dried thyme. And I have about 1.5 pounds of chicken. This is free range organic chicken. And what I did was, these are breasts. What I did was I sliced them really thin. I just want to try this, chicken cut this way. I just want to see how it comes out. So basically I just took the breast and cut it across in about 3 millimeters thick or so. Pretty thin. So that's basically all of our ingredients. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our aromatics over to our pot. Alright, so basically I'm going to just run my pot at 420 degrees or so, high heat. And I'm going to drop about 2.5 tablespoons of organic butter. This is going to serve to add some natural fat to the recipe since it's keto, and also it's going to give it some nice creamy flavor, and we're going to of course use it to saute our aromatics. And now we're going to add our minced garlic. To that we're going to go ahead and throw in our onions. We're going to give this about 2 or 3 minutes till the onions become translucent and soften up. While that's going on, we're going to chop our sausage and our mushrooms. Okay, so basically what we're going to do with these mushrooms here is I'm going to cut them in half first. I'm going to just lay them down like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and just chop them. Just like that. This is my new Orient, the knife with the Damascus finish. It's beautiful. I really like this knife. It's a 9.5 inch chef knife. If you guys are looking for a great knife at a really good price, these guys have those knives for around $100, $110 on Amazon. It's called Orient, and it's got a really beautiful multi-layer Damascus finish. Super sharp. So far I love it. I barely ever have to sharpen it. Actually, I haven't even sharpened it since I got it. Only once, just to see how sharp I could get it, and that's been it. And those of you guys that are doing vegan, if you actually wanted to keep this diet vegan, you can very simply do so by just of course, leaving out the sausage and the chicken, and instead of using butter to saute, you could use coconut oil, and you could use tofu instead of the meat, or you could just leave it like that. It will still be a great vegan recipe. I'm going to be using just 2 of these sausages. And I just cutting them down the middle in 4, and then I'm just going to cut them in little pieces from there. If you got a Sam's Club, I suggest you guys give this a try. They're pretty cheap. I forgot how much I paid, but it's like 16 sausages, and they're already pre-cooked. So you could actually even eat them like this if you wanted to. Okay, so as you can see, the aromatics are done. The onions are nice and softened. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken in. And when I do soups, I usually always do them in this order. First the aromatics, and then I do the chicken, because I like to sear the outside of the meat or the chicken or whatever it is first. Just personal preferences. I just think it always tastes better when it gets like that caramelization on the outside. When you use like the meat to deglaze that stuff that's stuck on the bottom from the aromatics. As you can see, it's getting all that stuff off of the bottom. That's all flavor right there that we are releasing into that meat. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add in our sausage and mushrooms. This is all going to shrink down. The mushrooms are going to shrink down a lot. It looks like there's a lot of mushrooms right now, but it's not. I kind of like to cook in layers. I like to add certain ingredients, cook them a bit, let them build that flavor, and then add something else in as we build, different flavors, different layers of flavor as we add the ingredients. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add some of our coleslaw in. Coleslaw mix. I want to get the juice from the chicken and the sausage and all that flavor mixed in before I go ahead and add our water for the soup. You can also add chicken broth, vegetable broth, even beef broth if you like. Okay, so now I'm going to add some of my dry seasonings in. I'm going to go ahead and add about a half a tablespoon of cumin. About the same of paprika, half a tablespoon or so. About a half a teaspoon of ground Saigon cinnamon. Just want a hint of that. Nice taste. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of dry thyme. And then with this crazy hot sauce, I'm just going to start by adding about 1 teaspoon or so, and then tasting. And then we will add from there. Like I said, this stuff is 500,000 Scovilles, so I don't want to go too crazy with it. I like hot, but I don't like crazy. I'm going to add about enough water to cover the ingredients, about an inch above, because this is going to reduce as we cook it on simmer. And at this point, you can give it a taste to the broth to see where your seasonings are at. I'm glad I didn't go any higher with that hot sauce because that's already pretty fiery. Okay, so now we're just gonna put a lid on it and we're gonna let this simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes for these ingredients to come together. Okay, so it's been about 30 to 45 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and serve it. It seems to be completely done. It's been about 35 minutes or so. So I'm gonna give it a taste and let you guys know how it is. Okay, so there is the finished product. It looks really good. It smells amazing. I'm just gonna put a little bit of chives on top as a little bit of a garnish, just to give it a little bit of color because I don't have any fresh herbs here today. So it smells amazing. I'm sure it's gonna be pretty spicy because when I tasted it, it was. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Really simple, keto friendly. Like I said, you can make it vegan if you want to. If you guys liked it, please give us a thumbs up and share with your friends and family. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys really soon on the next one. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this soup a try for you guys. I can tell you that it smells so good. I'm glad that it's getting colder now so I can have more soup recipes. Really love a good soup. The chicken sliced thin like that made it super tender and it's pretty spicy considering that I didn't add that much of that ghost pepper sauce to it. That stuff is really fiery. I think if I would have added maybe 2 teaspoons, it would have probably knocked out my palate. It would have been too much, but it's really good. Nice flavor. I get the thyme in there, the onions, a nice hint of garlic. The cinnamon comes through a little bit, gives it a very distinct flavor, and the smokiness from that sausage also combines really well with the other ingredients. It's got a nice texture with the mushrooms and the shredded cabbage in there. It's delicious. I can tell you guys it doesn't miss noodles or any carbs in this soup. This is really good, and one that you should definitely try if you're trying to keep your carbs down.